And if Chris can hear me, yep. Give me 1 sec. Okay.
I'll keep the mics back here so we can hear you.
Okay. We're gonna go on. Let's go ahead and do it.
Stand by.
This is a Storm Team 18 Severe Weather Alert. News 18, weather from where you live.
All right, it is 6:35 right now. Tornado warning is now up for Fountain and Tippecanoe County. This is far northeastern Fountain County and southwest Tippecanoe County. And this storm has had a history of rotating, but it's really tightened up here at about the past, I would say about 5 to 10 minutes. We've gotten some pictures of it, and now it's tightened up enough to warrant a tornado warning. You can see kind of where it's located. It's not that far from Odell. First things first, the warning is until 7 o'clock this evening, and I'll go ahead and take a closer look at it. And right there it is. It's a small storm, but it's been rotating for a while, and if we look back in time, you can actually see the rotation. So the rotating part would be right down here in this zone, and you can see the general direction of movement. We'll take it a little farther ahead in time, and the rotation would be here. It's going to take it very close to Odell and the Weehaw Plains area here on Highway 25. So right there it is. Again, this would be a little rope tornado and like an EF0 type tornado. This is not a large, violent like EF3 or EF4. It's not an EF2. This would be a pretty short-lived rope tornado. But a tornado is a tornado, and even if it's small and thin and brief and it's EF0, it's still very dangerous. And you don't want to be, as this approaches, you don't want to be outside. You want to be away from windows. You still want to have as many walls between you and the outside as possible for the potential for this to drop a rope tornado at any time. So there it is right now. We'll put a storm track on it as it moves to the kind of northeast at around 30 miles an hour. Again, the other threat with it would actually be a little bit of pea-sized hail, but certainly the main threat with this is a brief little rope tornado that comes out of it. So it's going to put it kind of right into Greater Lafayette here. That's the best estimate on the track that we can give right now. So here are the times of arrival. You can see Odell, 6 minutes. We've got the McQuinn Estates area. That's about 22 minutes. Purdue, it's roughly about 24 minutes in that time frame. 25 minutes to Wabash Township. The Happy Hollow Heights area, it's about a half an hour. And also say up towards like, I would say, up towards like the Veterans Home area, up towards 43 and 65. It's going to be a little more than a half an hour before it gets right into your area. I can take a look at our scope product, and what the scope product is it will kind of x-ray the storm and show us where the rotation is in it. Again, it doesn't look impressive, but we've had pictures from viewers sent to us of the wall cloud, and the Weather Service is thinking the rotation is enough to warrant the tornado warning. So we'll take an x-ray of it with the velocity, and that'll show us exactly where the rotation's located. Looks like it's weakened quite a bit. It's still good to go with the tornado warning right now. I'll kind of move it a little bit here, back down there, and we'll kind of go back in time. You can see over my shoulder, right there's the rotation, and that's really what prompted the warning, was that bright red spot. You see that right there? Again, Odell's going to be over here. This is Highway 25. West Point's up this way and Shadeland's up here. That's the little spot that warranted the tornado warning. You'll notice as we go ahead in time here, it has shown a little bit of weakening, but there's still rotation there, right in this zone, not far from Odell, moving in this general direction. And it's going to be moving through the northwest part of Tippecanoe County here over about the next 20 minutes. So again, like I say, you can kind of spot on radar what's a big tornado, and you know what the conditions are like outside. What's a big tornado, what the conditions are like, and what's a small little rope kind of tornado. And this is a narrow little rope tornado, and like an EF0 on a scale 0 to 5. This would be an EF0 if one is occurring, if we can get one down to the ground, and it's moving off kind of to the northeast right now. So kind of put our bearings down right as we speak. There it is. If we've, the rotation's about right here, and you can see kind of where we are on the map. There's Shadeland. This is Highway 25. The Black Rock Preserve is here. You see Independence here, off along the Wabash River, and of course the Williamsport area a little farther downstream. You're fine. It's going to miss Independence, but if you're anywhere in this zone, just northwest of Odell, right across the Weah Plains, right in this zone here, and then west of the Purdue Airport, this is the track this is going to take. So I would say if you live anywhere along Highway 25, or if you live to the north of 25 when it makes that little bend right by the railroad track at West Point, where the railroad track goes this way and West Point's over here, the highway goes that way. Anywhere in that zone and a little farther northward, be aware you could have a brief little tornado. But also keep in mind that EF0s are still enough to take a roof off a garage, you can take a roof off a barn, you can get some tree damage, you can snap power poles, you can blow windows out. That doesn't matter. A tornado warning's a tornado warning, but what I like to do is, if I think the tornado is really strong or violent, I'll let you know. This is going to be a brief little rope kind of spin up that does occur. And you can see right there, and anywhere in the red box, that's where the tornado warning is. And this goes for about another 15 minutes. Again, and includes areas around Odell and West Point. And again, if you're in Greater Lafayette, just be very weather aware. You're technically not under the tornado warning, but be very aware that this is moving in your general direction. I'll go ahead and put another storm track on it. I wish we used to have a tower cam here at the station. You can see we got one tower cam here. This is on I-65, but that's way out here on the east side. If we still had our camera right here at our station, we took a lightning hit and I took our camera out, we could get a really good view of this cell as it comes up from the southwest. But that camera is out of order right now. We'll go ahead and put another little storm track on it just to keep you weather aware, because some of you may have heard the sirens, you may have gone inside, your phone's going off, you're wondering what's going on. Is this a tornado warning? What's up? Just to reiterate, there is a tornado warning for southwest Tippecanoe, far northeastern Fountain County now. Now it's going to go until 7 o'clock. We've got about 15 minutes of this. This is not a large, violent tornado. It's not an EF3, 4, 5, anything like that. It's not even an EF2, if one would even be occurring. This is likely a little rope tornado. That's like an EF0 if it would occur, but it's still dangerous. And you want to take shelter. You want to really ideally be in an interior room. Just stay away from the walls and the windows if you're in the track of it, or be in a basement area. Now, that said, we'll go ahead and put the track on. I can kind of really dig down here and put a really close storm track on it. We'll go ahead and do something like that. It looks like it's really going to track towards, we'll keep an eye on it, but to me it looks like it's more the west side than the east side this is going to track from what we see right now. I'm going to scoot this out of the way so you can see the times of arrival just a little bit better. Black Rock, it's there right now. Black Rock is down here. There's West Point. Again, to get our references straight, this is Highway 25. There's the storm that's been rotating strongly at times and may produce a brief tornado touchdown. It's going to pass near the, right here are the Weah Plains, the Wabash River's out here, the it'd be north west of Shadeland, that area, that very open area where all the walnut plantations are, where the Purdue #1 walnuts are planted, right out in that area. And this is the general track. And if it would hold together and keep rotating strongly, there would be an additional tornado warning put out for the city of West Lafayette and Lafayette, but you're not under that tornado warning just yet. But it should be in the McQuinn Estates area, 16 minutes. The Purdue Grand Prix track, right there by the baseball fields, the soccer fields, 16 minutes. And generally, Wabash Township, it's going to be about 18 minutes, 21 minutes to West Lafayette. And it sure looks like this is going to tend to track more west of the Wabash River rather into the city of Lafayette. Still looks like to me, it looks like it's weakening. We'll kind of go back in time here. I'm going to get off air here very shortly because it continues to show a weakening trend. But before I get off here, because if things continue the way it's going, they're not going to put out another tornado warning for the city of West Lafayette because it looks weaker. So what we'll do, you can kind of see the trend of it right here. Right there, there was really good rotation starting to develop around Newtown. You see this little curlicue? That's the wall cloud, that's the mesocyclone. That's what prompted the tornado warning. And then you can see watch what happens with it as it moves northeastward. You see the weakening trend, and then I'll go ahead and put the velocity on real quick before we go back to programming here. We'll put the scope on, and yeah, the rotation's pretty non-existent now. Again, you can look here right there. See that bright red spot? That's what prompted the warning right there. That's when it was strongly rotating near Newtown and north of Malott. That prompted the tornado warning. And then you can see how it's kind of weakened. There's just not much rotation at all now with that storm. So I think the threat is pretty low with this. I think this is actually probably going to be, they may continue with this to 7. It may be canceled here in just a few minutes. But I feel pretty good that we will not have another tornado warning issued, and we're not going to have any tornado warning issued for the city of West Lafayette. This is really starting to weaken the way it looks right now. So it is 6:47 right now. Again, if you're just joining us, you heard the sirens, your phone went off. I don't want to be redundant, but I know people are just joining me kind of left and right at different times. Yes, we've got a tornado warning for Northeast Fountain and southwestern Tippecanoe County. It goes until 7. What prompted the tornado warning from the National Weather Service was that bright red spot. If you look closely right there, that was strong rotation near Newtown. As it has been moving northeastward, look what's happened. If you look closely, where's the rotation now? It's just non-existent. It's really not developing much at all right now. And Chris has this kind of turn towards the southwest. You can see via our tower cam here. You can see the rain shafts there off in the distance as this generally weakening storm is moving in. And there's the tornado warning that's canceled as expected. So we'll go back to regular programming. We do have a tornado warning just south of Fountain County. And it looks like, nope, they just extended it. So we've got a tornado warning now. We're not going to go back to programming for the present time because we've got a tornado warning now for Fountain County. This storm looks more intense than the one up here. This is pretty brief and it's really strong low-level rotation. Again, no tornado danger, no rotation, no issues for West Lafayette or Shadeland or West Point any longer, or the Weehaw Plains area. That one is pretty brief and transient. This one looks a little more intense. So we'll go down to southern Fountain County. You see the red boxes. That's the tornado warning issued by the Weather Service office in Indianapolis. And it looks like they've got the warning out until 7:15 for southern Fountain County. So what I always like to do when we get these warnings out, you got to dig in, you got to take an x-ray of the storm. Where's the worst part of that storm? Well, for one thing right now, you can see it's already entering southern Fountain County. It's right near, to kind of get our bearings straight here, Kingman is down here. This is Highway 41. This is 234. The storm goes all the way back towards the Wabash River, south of Covington. And it looks like we've got kind of a multifaceted situation here where we've got a little bowing right here. These could be some damaging winds. And to me, it looks like the circulation is probably with this appendage down here south of Kingman. But a better look will reveal where the rotation is with our wind scope. Again, it's like taking an x-ray of the storm. And you can see there are two areas of real concern. One, it's the wind right here. We also have quite a bit of wind right here. These could be some damaging just straight line winds. And then your rotation, again, like we were thinking, is right down here along Highway 41. And it's all moving in this direction. So we see the rotation, we see the damaging winds. These winds could be up to 70 miles an hour. And this could contain perhaps a brief tornado. And again, these are not violent tornadoes. They're not really strong tornadoes. This would be like an EF0, EF1 kind of situation. Again, it goes from EF0 to EF5. And from what I'm seeing with the radar, I feel like the radar data just updated. To me, as a meteorologist, the wind issue is here. And then I think that looks to be the strongest rotation there. There may be some here, but that's really the spot of greatest concern with a potential tornado. And right there's US 41. If you look here, here's Alamo. Crawfordsville's over here. And this potential tornado is moving here, and then just the damaging winds are kind of surging out in front of it and moving northeastward. We'll also take a scope of the hail in the storm, because some of these have shown signs of a little bit of small hail. Hail's not as big of a deal. We got a small, this is outside of the viewing area, a little pea-sized core, so there could be a few pea-sized stones, but obviously the main issue here is the risk of a tornado and a wind gust up to 70 miles an hour. So let's do a storm track. I'm going to pause this right here, and you can see these storms go all the way back down towards Terre Haute, and they're all moving in this direction. So if you're in Crawfordsville, Lafayette area, or Linden, Romney, even Clarks Hill, Delphi, even up towards Monticello, western Clinton County, eastern Clinton County was hit very hard last night by severe weather. We got to watch these storms coming up from the south, because even these down here are moving northeastward. Again, it's pretty much now till about 9 o'clock tonight when we have the risk of a few severe storms in the area. So we'll go ahead and put the track on. This is moving at about 40 miles an hour. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put a track on that. And from north of Covington and then all the way back down here just south of our viewing area in Park County, and do something, kind of track it in that way. So here are the times of arrival with it. It's going to be in Petersburg here within a few minutes. Technically, Petersburg, you're not in a tornado warning, but you've got a lot of damaging winds downstream. So what may happen is they keep the tornado warning, but we may have a severe thunderstorm warning issued as well for Petersburg and points to the northeast. Shawnee Township, about 15 minutes. Coal Creek, half an hour. New Richmond, about 38 minutes it gets in there. Now, Wabash Township up here in Tippecanoe County, that's going to be about 56 minutes. Lafayette, less than an hour before it comes in. Sheffield Township, 74 minutes. And Delphi, you're looking at about an hour and a half before it comes in. That's the same for Delphi. And if it does end up holding together with some severe weather risk in Camden, it's going to be 112 minutes before it gets into your area. So you're looking at, a good more than an hour and a half before it gets into your neck of the woods there in Carroll County. But we always want to track as far ahead as we can in these situations. So that said, there's another look at that storm. To me right now, it looks like the whole area from really southeast of Covington right through Kingman is under the risk of winds up to 60. Your rotating part of the storm is here. See the curlicue? Right there it is. Potential tornado is here. There could be a little pea hail mixing into this, but you can see the curlicue. That's where the tornado would be located if we've got one developing, and it will pass right here. The damaging winds are back here, but the tornadic part is going to pass right in this zone, and that area would be, we'll zoom in tighter where that's going to track. It would tend to track east of Kingman. Now Kingman, you're getting hit very hard right now, but it would tend to track east of you. If you live anywhere near the 234-41 intersection and points to the northeast, that would be the area where any brief tornado would tend to track from this storm. Elsewhere, it's just a lot of damaging straight line winds that are mixed up in this. And speaking of that, the storms are actually approaching. There's a weather station about right here, the 5 Southeast Covington weather station. I can dig in here and see what the winds are doing in that storm in the Veters or southeast of Covington area. Again, if you're just joining us, we got the tornado warning up for Fountain County. It goes until 7:15. We got an evident, potentially rain-wrapped tornado trying to develop here that's approaching Fountain County, the southern part of Fountain County, right as we speak. And we've got some damaging winds that are potentially moving into southern Fountain County as well. Perhaps gusts up to 60, 70 miles an hour. Can't completely be ruled out with this. And again, the warning is going to go for about another 15, 20 minutes, the tornado warning that is. So to kind of zone in here a little bit more, we'll put our scope tool on. I mean, I can put the scope tool on, but I can tell you right there's your developing potential tornado. Right, you can see the mesocyclone, the rain's wrapping around it. Right there it is, and I would bet if I put a scope right there, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb. And again, east of Kingman, along 234, east of where 41 and 234 come together, that's where that tornado. If we've got a tornado there, that's where it would tend to track. So we'll go ahead and put a scope on that. I bet money that's where that general area is. Yeah, it would tend to be about right in this zone here. The bright reds and bright greens. It's a pretty broad area of rotation, but it's there right in this zone, and it's just about to move into Fountain County right now. Out ahead of it, these may be some winds 60, 70 miles an hour out in front of it. So maybe a severe gust here, and then the tornado is actually wrapping around it. And some of that wind energy may be wrapping around the tornado, developing tornado itself, right in that zone there. This would likely not be a violent tornado. These are not EF3s. These are not EF4s. They're nothing like that. This would tend to be a pretty narrow EF0, EF1 type tornado if it does occur. But the thing to remember is that even one of those can blow windows out and take a roof off a garage or a home and cause considerable tree damage. You may not have a residence that's damaged, but if you've got a lot of trees on your property and you know you got a lot of trees around your house, you want to get into an interior room or you want to get into a basement for these situations. Even if they're these brief little rope tornadoes, you still want to treat them very seriously because they're still dangerous nonetheless. So there it is. What I can do also, this product is our debris tracker. What we can do is within the precipitation, if we've got a tornado and it's picking up a lot of debris and it's throwing that debris up and and the radar beam intersects it, it's going to show up on here. And there's nothing that's screaming out that we've got debris right now from a radar perspective. But you also have to remember that, this is a ways away from the Indianapolis radar. This is getting pretty high up, but even with that, if we had a lot of debris being kicked up, we would normally see a debris signature on the radar. Now, the really strong violent tornadoes, when they're far away from the radar, the debris even shows up there because it's strong, it's picking up a lot of it and lofting it, 10, 20,000 feet. In this case, any such debris wouldn't be lofted up as far, so the beam it may be too high for that, but regardless, it's a good tool to use. But we don't see anything screaming right now that we've got pieces of metal several thousand feet up from an apparent tornado that's on the ground, and that's a bit of good news. This is just another tool to kind of dissect what we're seeing and to determine what kind of alarm we need to give. Because if you've got a tornado on the ground and it is throwing metal and wood and everything up,